Happy Monday, everyone. I'm here today with Mackenzie. Mackenzie's one of our professional trainers here at Taming the Wild, and Archie was kind enough to volunteer for this demonstration. At Taming the Wild, we do what's called dual handler training. And this is something that you can get your whole family involved. I'm sure you're sitting around the house right now. After those online classes are done with your children, get them involved in your dog's training. We use dual handler training to do two things. One, to solve or to really address any sort of problematic behaviors we see. So over the next couple of days, we're going to show you how we use two lines. So that's what dual handler training is. Mackenzie has a leash on the dog, and she's the primary handler. And then I am this I'm just kind of like, think of me like a movable tree. I'm working with Mackenzie, but she's doing the majority of the work. My job is just to help solve any sort of problem behaviors or to polish behaviors that are really good. So in other words, if you have a good heel, your dog can heel very nice for you. Well, this training right here can make it even nicer, more polished. So we always do dual handler training with all the dogs that are sent to us for any of our board and train programs. And this is something that you can get the entire family involved with. Okay, but before we get started, one major don't, okay? Whoever's doing this job here, whoever's on the long line, your job is not really to correct the dog. Your job is to restrain the dog. So you're not allowed to snap the leash or jerk on the leash. In fact, many times with particular dogs, we can actually have this dog in a harness, and that's what my line would be connected to. Her line would be connected to any sort of corrective collar or slip collar, prong collar, what have you. My line would be connected to a harness, and right now it's on another slip collar. But that being said, we do not want to have two opposing forces that happen very hard at any given moment. You can cause a lot of problems with the dog. So be careful with that. The person on the long line, your job is just to restrain. Mackenzie's job today is to train Archie. All right, so I think it'll make more sense to you when we start doing it. Watch what I do, watch what she does. Today we're going to work on heeling and coming to a stop. Heeling and coming to a stop. Now I'm going to move a little bit away from Mackenzie, out to about 10 feet away on a long line. Mackenzie's going to give the command, heel. Right, so if Archie should ever start to crowd her, then my job is simply to pull Archie away from her leg. By doing this, because right now with Mackenzie walking, if Archie starts to crowd her, only solution is really just to make a hard left-hand turn. But now we can work correcting any sort of crowding while we're going straight. Okay, now we're going to turn left, and now right there, I pulled Archie right to Mackenzie's leg. And even if Archie starts to speed up, starts to go ahead of Mackenzie, I can start to pull back from back here. Again, I'm just leaning into the leash, no jerking the leash, just leaning into it. And now we're going to come to a stop. So here we go. Mackenzie's going to stop the dog. And the only thing that I do is just right there, tight line. Now I'm just that tree. That's all I do. But Archie right there, just due to her leash being a little snug, my leash being snug, it makes the dog stop right there. The second the dog hears stop, it must stop right there on a dime. Now we're going to show it again when we create a sit, when we come to a halt. So now she's going to move back to the heel position. She's going to command heel. And I'm just going to follow behind her. Again, I'm about 10 feet away. Big influence as far as the dog is concerned. And now Mackenzie's going to slow down and come to a stop and make that sit happen. And again, my only job is to make sure that dog can't go 1 inch further. This is perfection work. Again, here at Tame the Wild, one of our biggest mottos ever is start right, end right. We don't allow big mistakes. No big mistakes. You can learn to make big mistakes. We don't allow it. Okay, let's do it again, Mackenzie. Heel. Yep. Okay, now go a little faster. Okay, turn left. Now I pull the dog off of her. Right there. Now I can walk with her. And anytime she's going to come to a halt, the only thing, if you're doing my job, all you have to do is move behind. So you and the primary trainer have to be a little coordinated together. Work it out together. And come to a halt. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, as you can probably imagine, if you do this training, dual handler training for walking, you've got to give fair warning if you're turning right. Because then that means someone like me now has to sprint to the other side. I don't do her any good if she turns to the right and I'm not in position. Let's kind of demonstrate that. So we'll go down the straightaway here first, Mackenzie, okay? Heel. Okay, now I'll show you what I mean. Go ahead and turn to the right. Okay, I'm not allowed to help here unless I start running. There we go. So if you want to get your exercise in, just do my job. Let's do it again. Turn to the right. Okay, here I go, which is fine. But again, the only thing I don't like about it is you draw a lot of attention to yourself from the dog. So the dog's looking at you going, who's this guy running around behind me? And I'm not really supposed to be part of this walk. Turn left. There we go. I'm just a shadow. I'm a constant influence as far as the behavior goes, but it's not as far as the dog is concerned. All right, I'm going to move behind Mackenzie, come to a halt, and I lean on that leash. That's all I do, lean on that leash. All right, guys, that's called dual handler training. Tomorrow we're going to show you how you can get a couple more people involved in your training in helping to teach the switch command. Back and forth, back and forth. We'll also show you how to use this dual handler training for your place and your stay. Wow, talk about X marks the spot, making it rock solid. Nothing like dual handler training. We love it here at Taming the Wild. You're going to love it too. Get the whole family involved. Everyone get to doing dual handler training. All you need is a long line, and just remember, never jerk it. Okay, guys, if you got any questions on this, you know where to send them. And if you found this information beneficial, you know some families that are killing each other, they're tired of watching Netflix, they're ready to get outside and do something with the dog, send this to them. Share it with them. And tomorrow we'll show you a lot more dual handler training. Until then, be safe, and we'll see you tomorrow.